Hi, we're Gary and Brooke, the crew of SV1 Life. For the past 18 months, we've lived aboard and sailed our 40-foot sailboat through the Caribbean.
We've sailed over 4,000 nautical miles and visited 10 different countries and many remote islands. And we're fortunate enough to have a dive compressor on board One Life, so we're able to dive pretty much anywhere we want to.
So today, we wanted to share with you our top 5 dives of the Caribbean. Some of these you may have heard of, and some of them are well off the beaten trail.
All right, this brings us to dive site number 5. We are going to begin with our number 5, Ronde Island in Grenada. Situated about 5 miles north of Grenada, this completely undeveloped island is rarely visited except by the passing sailboat. Lush green mountains seem to rise straight out of the clear blue ocean, and the diving is truly remote, untouched, and spectacular. The rugged underwater landscape is full of coral-encrusted boulders, caves, and swim-throughs. These features attract a surreal variety of marine wildlife, from honeycomb cowfish and trumpetfish to lionfish and giant green moray eels. The diving here can be a bit tricky, as timing the tide perfectly is critical. The current rushes around and through these rocks, so while it's not a dive for the faint of heart, it is well worth the challenge.
Our dive number 4 takes us to the island of St. Vincent. On the southwest corner of the island, there is a small bay known as Petite Bayahat. Far away from the normal tourist destinations, you won't find any dive shops here to fill your tanks. An extremely jagged coastline of steep rocks provides the backdrop for some incredible underwater structures. Start your dive anywhere along the shore. Just drop down and head into the current along the wall. Colorful soft corals and sponges completely cover these vertical rock faces, and you're sure to find lobsters and eels hiding in the nooks. If you're particularly adventurous, there are underwater caverns that lead far back into the cliffs.
This brings us to our favorite wreck dive, the Charlie Brown, located in St. Eustatius, also known as Statia. This tiny Dutch volcanic island has a population of just a few thousand people, and is most certainly one of the last remaining gems of the Caribbean. A protected marine park surrounds the entire island, so we did our diving here with Golden Rock Dive Center. The Charles L. Brown was a cable-laying ship built in Italy in 1954. Upon retirement, she was sold to the island of Statia for a symbolic $1 and was sunk on July 25, 2003, to her final resting place 100 feet below the surface. The clear waters that surround Statia provide for the spectacular views of this massive 300-foot-long ship. The enormous structure provides shelter for large schools of fish such as jacks and barracuda. This incredibly breathtaking dive is now the bar against which we will compare all our future wreck dives.
For the runner-up on our list, we find ourselves back in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, this time at the quaint little island of Bequia. On the western tip of the island, you will find an extraordinary structure built into the rocks. Moon Hole was founded by an American couple in the 1960s who constructed a stone house under this jaw-dropping natural arch. This eco-friendly off-grid community grew, and eventually a total of 17 homes were built. Most of the property is now in disrepair, but the uniqueness of this landmark is still just as inspiring. Just off the shoreline, the world below is just as jaw-dropping. Hard and soft corals of every color adorn the rocks, and sheer walls that quickly drop down to over 100 feet. With such a healthy reef, you're likely to encounter all the usual suspects of fish, crustaceans, and eels. This combination of the human story above and the marine life below gives this dive site an unmatched charm.
And now, for our number one dive in all of the Eastern Caribbean, we head to St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands for the Frederiksted Pier. The Frederiksted Pier is typically used by visiting cruise ships, but when it's empty, it transforms into a spectacle of marine diversity like no other. The ease of access is fantastic. Either swim over from your anchored boat or just step right in from the shore. The Frederiksted Pier is over a quarter-mile long and has dozens of pillars completely covered in vibrant corals. The visibility in St. Croix is legendary and often exceeds 100 feet. The structure of the pier attracts every species of tropical fish you'd ever expect to find in the Caribbean, and often a few green sea turtles will mingle with the schools of tarpon.
The real beauty of this dive site is what happens when the sun goes down. At night, the pier seems to come even more alive, with eels out in the open chasing fish, seahorses clinging to corals, and octopuses roaming about. The calm conditions, incredible visibility, ease of access, and variety make the Frederiksted Pier our absolute favorite dive site in the Caribbean. We hope you enjoyed seeing our top 5 dives of the Caribbean. If you have a favorite dive that's not on our list, leave us a comment below.
And if you'd like to see more of our sailing and diving adventures, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Cheers, everyone! Thanks for watching.